Hey everyone, are you ready for another stupid, pointless project? This is my light that I've been using for all the videos and just general work, and it's seen better days. I'm too cheap to buy a new one. I got this one at Habitat for Humanity Restore for 50 cents. I painted it because it was just like gross off-white, and now it's broken because it's plastic. But I'm gonna fix it, so here we go. Okay, here's what broke. Now there's no way I'm going to take the time to make a new one of these. Let's see what kind of cheap-ass thing I can come up with. Alright guys, this is going to be stupid. I thought I could just put that right there, drill a hole through, and that'll hold it, because all that plastic mechanism does is allow it to swivel like this. And I don't know that that's really an important function of it, but I haven't done any machining in a while. So I'm going to make this, basically this piece, minus the threads, minus that flange, minus that slot. I'm just going to have a nice fit so it'll just slide on. I'm not worried about it falling off, and if I have a problem with it spinning, I can put in a set screw. But I have this piece of aluminum. I have not shown how I do milling operations on my 12-inch Atlas lathe. So that's what we're gonna do. Machine project. Stay tuned. Okay, for a cutter, I'm going to be using this Niagara 1-inch 2-flute, like everything else I own. I got it from an auction in a box of junk, but it was still in the container. And I just happen to have a Jacob's chuck that goes up to 3/4 to hold it. Now I know this isn't the right way to do this because side loads could loosen up the Morse taper, but you know, what's the worst that can happen? It comes loose. For what I'm doing, it should work fine. I've done it 100 times. My milling machine is a little attachment that I think is maybe from a Sherline lathe. You'll be shocked to know I got this in a box of junk from an auction. But I drilled out and milled a little slot there, and if I just use this little steel bushing as a spacer, I can use the tool post stud and nut and just bolt that right on top. I'm going to be doing the milling operations before the lathe operations because this isn't going to hold a round piece of stock at all, so at least this way I can hold the square stock, get the end milled the way I need it, center it in the forejaw, and turn down the rest of it. This whole thing is unnecessary and completely ridiculous, but I just miss doing machine work. I'm not even fighting with the heater tonight. I'm over it. Okay, the lathe is oiled, the workpiece is trimmed in, and I'm going to see if I can level off that end. Hope for the best. This is definitely the biggest end mill I've ever run in this operation, but it just happens to be the sharpest. Taking very light passes. it came loose. Remember when I said, what's the worst that can happen? It just happened. And I survived. That's definitely too much end mill for this setup. So I'll speed it up. How about that? Alright, you win. Smaller end mill. So that was probably a terrible angle. But it's starting to work. Check out that surface finish. You don't even need a surface grinder if you've got finishes like that. So anyway, there's one. Get to do that 3 more times. I'll try to get some video of it this time. There's just not a good place to set up my camera. There's one pass. I got to take it off in 2 chunks. You can see the line I scribed right here. That's the full depth. I did about half that. So it works. It's definitely no replacement for a milling machine, but it's fun to play with. Well, there you go. I cleaned it up a little bit with a file. There's still a few gouges, especially every time that chuck would loosen up. It would start chattering and leaving an ugly surface finish. But if I needed it to be perfect, I wouldn't have done it myself because I don't have the right equipment. So for this radius, I'm just going to do that by hand with a file. There's no reason trying to set up something complicated. But for now, I'm going to go put this in the chuck and turn this down and put a hole in it. Okay, well, I've got the machined end in the 4-jaw chuck. I've got it indicated, which is not a terrible amount of fun to indicate square stock, but I got that in. I got a center in. So now I'm just going to turn it down to the approximate outside diameter, which is just going to be basically when it cleans up and becomes round. And I only have to go as far as that line, but you know, I'll probably come a little bit past there just to be sure. So let's get that done. Hey everyone, today is tomorrow, and I worked some more on this light piece last night, but the battery in my phone died and I was just kind of antsy to get it finished. So that's what I got. We have a large hole here that goes over the shaft. There's a through hole that has enough room for the wire to go through and also kind of be off to the side so that the screw that holds the light head on can go through there. So I think when the video died, I was just starting to turn down this square into this round. And yes, I realized if I had a round aluminum rod, I could have used that and saved a little bit of turning, but I didn't. It's a nice snug fit. I actually kind of have to tap it on to the rod with a dead blow hammer. So I don't think I even care if it can swivel around, because I'm always going to want the light pointing down. If I need to see in the side of something, I'll grab a flashlight. So I think I'm ready to put this thing back together. And that's probably not going to be very exciting, but hey, sometimes you have fun projects. Sometimes you have stupid projects where you make a new part that takes you hours to fix a 50-cent lamp. What can I say? All right, there you go. I call that a success. It actually stays where it needs to go. And I lost the functionality of it twisting side to side that way. Again, I don't really care. I always left it in the same spot anyway. That's what we started off with, and here's what we ended up with. So thanks for following along on that silly little experiment in wasting time and salvaging a 50-cent lamp. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be inspiring somebody else to fix the exact same lamp. But hopefully it will at least inspire you to think when something breaks, you can maybe fix it with stuff you have laying around and you don't have to buy more. Otherwise, what am I going to do? I'm going to throw this in the landfill. I'm going to buy a new one that shipped over on a barge from China, so they're burning oil to get it here and burning oil and creating pollution to make it, and then this is going to go in the landfill and it's going to be there, well, I would say for millions of years, but it's mostly steel, so it would probably just mostly rust away. But still, if you can fix something, fix it. If not for your own benefit, if for everyone's benefit. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.